There's a lot of questions about female safety. Ironically, perhaps, as a female, certainly as a mother, I actually feel more safe here.
Would you ever go back to the US to live?
Can I pass on that question?
What's up everybody, Andrew here with another video. Today we are in Lower El and I'm with my friend Sierra. How are you doing?
Great, how are you?
I'm doing amazing.
Yeah.
We're gonna learn all about her business and her life here in Medellin, Colombia. Are you ready for this?
I'm so ready.
Let's go, let's do it. How old is Rosie?
Rosie's 5.
Oh, she's still a teenager.
Yeah, we got her just at the start of the pandemic.
All right, so let us know, where are you from?
So I was born in the US, in Vermont, grew up in Boston and California. I've been in Colombia for 16 years.
Wow, that's longer than I have. I got here in 2010. And where are we right now?
So we're in the outskirts of Laureles, right where the city hits the nature.
Tell us why Medellin? How did you come to discover this place?
So I'm a certified teacher, and for the first career of my life, I was teaching in the United States, in China, Shanghai, and then I came with a teaching credential and worked at an international school. I maintain my license in case I ever need to pop, but no, it's not my career anymore.
And you've been here 16 years, so I'm assuming you've lived in different neighborhoods, or have you always been in this neighborhood?
I've lived in different parts of Laureles for the last 10 years, all just scattered around. Been in this part of the city for about 2.5 years and love it.
Well, what do you like most about living in Lower El?
It's a really great combination of metropolitan, still has some of that small village vibe, right? There's lots of cafes and restaurants. It's really walkable. And this is on the outskirts. I'm a little away now from the beating center of Laureles.
Would you ever go back to the US to live?
Can I pass on that question?
We're gonna get into her business. If you guys have any questions for her, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Let's get to the next point.
Let's do it.
All right, so you mentioned that you maintain your license for teaching, but you're not a teacher anymore. What do you do to support yourself?
I am the founder and CEO of Redthread Publishing, and we have a second imprint called Red Falcon Press, helping people learn how to write and publish impactful nonfiction, and using books as a tool to not just elevate ourselves and our message, but really change the world. Everyone I know wants to write a book, but there's a lot of breakdowns in the process of wanting to write a book, knowing how to write a book, knowing how to write a good book efficiently, and then even if you have a manuscript, how the hell do you get that manuscript out into the world in a professional and effective way so the people who really need your book can find it and get it in their hands.
So if someone wants to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Yeah, our website is the best way to find us, redthreadbooks.com. Very simple, and we are all over the internet.
If you had to put a number on, let's say, a budget that someone could have to live down here
Yes.
comfortably,
Yep.
what would you say that number would be?
That's such a funny question because it actually has everything to do with how bougie you are. Years ago, before the pandemic, I kid you not, I was single parenting, living in my own apartment on a budget of $12,000 a year. Things have changed significantly since the pandemic, as you know, and people are all talking about it. Again, it has to do with what you're comfortable with. $2,000 to $10,000, depending on what you're looking for, you know?
I know people that live here on, let's say, a local teacher salary,
Yeah.
that are foreigners working at a high school or at a private school, you know, making, you know, less than $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
And they live
they're
a great
still
life.
Comfortable
Yeah.
and happy and can leave
'Cause-
town for the weekend and
Yeah.
go out for a beer.
Because $2,000 a month for a local, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
dream for a
That's a
lot of
dream
people.
for a lot of people. That's
Yeah.
like what some doctors, dentists, lawyers make. All right, so I've got a lot more questions. Let's walk to the next point.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's talk about lifestyle in Medellin.
Yeah.
You are a creative, you're a business owner, you're a mom.
I am.
How does Medellin and I guess the expat lifestyle in Medellin support what you do or challenge what you do?
Look where we're standing. Okay, I can take a hike in nature. In fact, I do almost every morning. I can go out for a cup of coffee and be peaceful with myself or connect with other like-minded individuals. But I think underneath all of it is I do not have to work an 80-hour week just to make ends meet. Creativity does not come from hustle, and it really comes from this place of possibility and rest, which is something I preach endlessly to our authors. We think that success comes from more work, when arguably that's the opposite of what we need. It's hard to break that habit though. It's actually hard to embrace the mañana tranquila that is preached here all the time. It used to piss me off so much. I was like, no, I'm gonna work harder. But when it comes to running a business, starting a business, writing a book, raising a human, it doesn't always come from doing more. Creativity and success arguably actually comes from slowing down and enjoying the hell out of whatever you've got in front of you.
I was reading something earlier this week, and it said that success is not about how much money you have and the things that you have. It's about being able to pick up your kid at 2 o'clock in the afternoon from school, take them to soccer practice, and have all the time in the world for them. That's real success, and I agree with that. If you were living on the East Coast right now, how much different would your life be?
That is such a good question, and it's a little horrific actually if I contemplate it. I don't know, it gives me chills. As a single parent, I cannot even imagine the amount of work that's required. Yes, you can hire help. Can you afford to hire help? Most people I know, it's cheaper to not work and be a parent than it is any other way around. But as a single parent, I can't just quit my job and hope that somebody else pays my rent. But underneath all of it, I think it's actually culture more than anything else. If you are surrounded by other people driven by the definition of success being to do more, it's so hard to break out of it, especially if your rent's $5,000 or more. It's not even a choice anymore, whereas here, choices exist. And I feel like what's been stripped away from what I know about North American living is the choice almost doesn't exist anymore.
I have some more questions for you. Let's take a walk. She has a beautiful apartment out here, guys. I've only seen pictures. I want to go check it out. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. All right, so tell us about these books over here in the background.
I got into publishing from writing my own books originally. So I'm an author 3 times. Date Yourself, How Change Really Happens, and Typo, The Art of Imperfection, Imperfect Creation. The rest of them, and there's a whole nother shelf over there, are books that I've helped other people write and publish. And we started to win some awards. Some of them are collaborative books, meaning multiple people write. Some of them are solo books where there's just one author. There's something incredible about the power of storytelling. It's healing to share one story. It's transformative to write and connect and find that piece of yourself that's really meaningful for another.
Yeah.
It's terrifying, but some of that fear is what propels us into the next iteration of who we can become.
I've got a couple more questions. Let's go check out your terrace.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Can't wait.
Here. Do you think that you would have been able to start this business and be an entrepreneur if you lived in the United States?
Easily, I would never have been able to open a brick and mortar yoga studio in the United States. Just would never have done it, would never occurred to me to do it. This is the 3rd business that I've started since moving to Medellin. I sold my first business, which is an entrepreneur's dream. As a single parent, I would never have given myself permission to make the risk of running my own business. So your question of what would it look like for me to live in the United States? I could do it. I would absolutely. Lots of people do. But I don't think I would have had the courage to go out on my own and run my own business because I can afford to make mistakes here. I can afford to fail here. I have. But in the United States, certainly as a single parent, I don't think I can afford to fail. I worked hard for it. I don't want you to think that I just woke up one day and live this life, because I think that a lot of people fall into this trap of well, she lives in Colombia. She's been on vacation for 16 years. And that's not the case at all. A lot of hard work goes into running a business and building a life, but there's space to dream here. Magical realism was born here, the literary technique of things being impossible being real. And after having lived here for a long time, I know exactly why.
What are your top pros or benefits of living in Medellin?
There's the possibility of dreaming, the possibility of creating a life that not only feels good, possible, healthy. I can take my daughter for a hike in the mountains, sit out here for a cup of tea.
What about the negatives? What are some of the cons that you would say?
Okay, it's loud, there's lots of people, it rains almost every day. Maybe that's a con. I love it. A lot of people are really concerned about how quickly things are changing. I get through it by not really getting wrapped up in the day-to-day politics or the argues or the fears about, oh, the exchange rate changed. Of course it did. It's going to. I think I've been here for so long that I've seen the ups and downs. I've buckled in and I'm here for the ride. If you're just looking for an easy place to escape that has no issues, this probably isn't that.
Big question that we get on the channel is how safe do you feel out here?
There's a lot of questions about female safety. Ironically, perhaps, as a female, certainly as a mother, I actually feel more safe here. People are looking out for me. People are wanting to protect me and my daughter. And so it's been a really interesting space to be in where total strangers are looking out for me rather than scoping me out. Having a dog doesn't hurt. So I've always felt really, really safe because I've embedded myself in the community. I'm not just a tourist. So the people at the tienda know me. The people who monitor the bus, they know me. The people hiking in the park, they know me. And when you belong somewhere and you know people, then you're not alone, and so you're not a target.
There's somebody out there watching this video, maybe in the United States or in another country, and they're thinking, man, that life looks amazing. I'd love to move to Medellin. What would be your advice to that person?
I see a lot of people come down to try it, to check it out. I would absolutely not move to another country without doing my due diligence. This culture is one that, if you can find your way in, is really, really welcoming. And I think the danger comes from looking like you don't know what you're doing. No dar papaya, like don't be an idiot. Find a few people and integrate yourself really well. The coffee shop that I go every day. It's like Cheers, I belong. If I'm not there, people are gonna concern themselves about my well-being. Community is not something people owe you. Community is something that you have to invest in just as much.
Sierra, this has been an amazing interview. It's really great to get a female's perspective, a foreign female's perspective about living here. It's definitely opened my eyes. So she has definitely ingrained herself in the community. If you are looking to relocate to Medellin, make sure to click on the link in the description to the Medellin Masterclass webinar. Make sure you have an hour to take it because it'll teach you everything you need to know. If you need to contact her, her contact information is in the description below. Hit her up. Write your book.
Write your book, baby.
Thank you so much. You were an amazing guest. See you guys in the next video.
Bye.